there's a lot of cycle analysis saying that September could be a very ugly month for the markets. A job of a bear market is to break the will of all of the bulls. And when it breaks everyone's will, that's when you get a bottom, all right? Eventually, Bitcoin's heading a lot higher. It just needs to get through this growing pain period here with regulation, with adoption, with all these other things out there as well. Now, cryptocurrency, guys, this has been a wild move in the markets. And every time I see this, it just reminds me that we are still in a bear market in crypto. Now, people made fun of me saying it was still a bear market. That's fine. That's part of the job. But what I want to show you is that when you have good news in crypto and the gains go away within a day or two, that is never a good thing. So let's talk quickly about this, right? What do we have here? So if we look at this chart, we can clearly see this was your BlackRock news with a big pop. This was your Ripple news that they won their SEC case, right? And look at how it popped and then the reversal occurred a day later. That's not good. And I even commented, this is what's called a reversal candle. And a reversal candle is never a good thing in a chart when it's at the high end of the range. All right, so what did we do? We trailed off. We then had this dump out. Then right down here, we had the grayscale news just a couple days ago. We had a pop, and then 2 days later, we're back down. That's the classic hallmarks of a bear market. What it's doing is psychologically, it's killing off all the bulls. You get a bunch of bulls here to buy in, okay? And then here, even more bulls buying in, and those bulls are made a fool, essentially putting out of the money. Now, once we got down here, which basically was the start of this move, then these bulls that bought in are like, what the heck, man? I thought this was gonna be the new bull market. They get wiped out. Then you get another green pop, which gets more people to go bullish, and they get wiped out as well. And that's the hallmarks of a bear market. All right, it just is what it is. The bear markets, the job of the bear market, and this is a bear market in commodities, in stocks, in crypto, any asset, real estate is included there. A job of a bear market is to break the will of all of the bulls. And when it breaks everyone's will, that's when you get a bottom, all right? Case in point, I want to show you this chart here. Let's go to the S&P 500 chart. All right, we're going to go to a monthly chart. I have a long-term channel here, okay? All right, so if we look at this, and we're going to erase that for now, but if we go back to 2007, right? In fact, let's go to the weekly chart. Let's go all the way back to 2007, and bear with me as I bring this up here. So we look back at 2007, and basically if you looked from January of 2009 all the way to March, the flush was in, right? So what we see here is this was your most panicked sell, right? You had this kind of downward motion where you were at the highs, right? Here's your S&P trading at the highs up here, and you have this stair step down. And every time you stair step down, right, you have kind of this, oh, well, now we're in a new bull market. Oops, nope, we're not. Now we're in a new bull market. No, we're not. And you had these green candles here that really got people bullish, right? And this, again, is so universal to the psychology of everyone. The thing is, once this happens, right, so then you had this flush, which was dramatic, and people thought again, oh my goodness, finally we've reached a bottom, and then the final flush. And look at the final flush. 1 candle, 2 candles, 3 candles, 4 candles. Right down here, that's when you took out the last of the bulls. And I still remember this vividly. I traded through this, folks, and I still remember people wouldn't open their 401ks because they didn't even want to look at it. In all fairness, it's what's going on in crypto right now, right? People that have long-term holdings in altcoins, they don't even want to look at their portfolio. They're just like, dude, it's too ugly, it's too nasty to look at right now. That's what happens in every bear market. And it doesn't, this is very normal because this gets the few people that are kind of still a little bullish to get more bullish and coaxes in people. It's only when you bottom out where you don't coax any bulls in anymore, that's when you actually make a low because everyone has already sold and you get to a point of kind of essentially capitulation where people are just like throwing in the towel and they're like, I can't deal with this anymore. And that's when the bull market can begin. Well, even if you look at the 4-year cycle, this is still supposed to be downward action in Bitcoin. And I think that's important to recognize as well, is that when you're looking at that, you have to understand that that is still technically, if you go back to the 4-year cycle. Now, I've argued against the 4-year cycle because we don't have a Fed that is printing money, but eventually I do think a new bull market is coming, probably in 2025. All right, but just a reminder here, looking at this chart, I'm still in the camp that we have to test 25,000, right? 25 is right here. We haven't quite hit that level yet. We've come close. Then I think you have to test this, and at least, and I think you could even go lower, but if you want to break the will of all all the last remaining bulls. And there's not a lot out there, honestly. You know, they've been really getting crushed with these pop and drops. But if you want to do it, you need to at least take out the 15.7 low, 15.6 low, because that could be capitulatory. And we get to my first high target of 12 to 13,000, maybe 10 to 9. I don't know if we'll get to 10 to 9 because I think the spot ETF will be approved at some point and that will bring institutional money in. But I think in the very least, you probably have to go test and maybe pierce this low. All right, so that's a little update on that front, guys. Just a couple things here to go over. If we look at gold, gold is rallying again today, guys, and I've been pounding in this game plan. I've been telling you guys again, this is a buying opportunity. When we were right here, key support, retrace to the scene of the crime. We had to test it again. Now we're off to the races. You'll have a little bit of resistance around 1980, but my guess again is if we look at the bigger picture, and I went over the bigger chart patterns here, the bigger picture continues to show that we have this scenario where there's a bullish pattern building in gold. All right, bullish pattern meaning a big up move like this, and then this is all consolidation, right? All of this is consolidation. You're digesting this move for a move up. And in fact, I've shown in the past, and maybe I'll show this in one of the game plans next week, if you go back to the 1970s and 1980s, this exact pattern is there. And you can look at the inflation and track the inflation, and it mirrors what we're seeing today. And what we saw was gold eventually broke out and actually went up 9x. Now, I don't think we're going up 9x in gold from here. I'll tell you that. I think a 2x or a 3x in the next 3 to 5 years is possible, but a 9x probably not. But I do think that this is an underestimated asset that hasn't performed equal to the stock market. And once we get in a market where the stock market struggles for a long period of time and inflation remains elevated at 3% or more, you likely are going to see more upside in gold. It is going to be the go-to asset along with eventually Bitcoin. Eventually Bitcoin's heading a lot higher. It just needs to get through this growing pain period here with regulation, with adoption, with all these other things out there as well.